Hello, welcome to VNews Broadcast Daily, and following are the highlights.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng on January 9th hosted a reception for the President of Japan's Liberal Democratic Party, Tanigaki Sadakazu. A workshop on January 9th forecast continued impacts from tightened monetary and financial policies, but on a lesser extent in 2012. Flower farmers in the Central Highland province of Lâm Đồng are busy tending their gardens in the hope of good profit at Tết.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng on January 9th hosted a reception for the President of Japan's Liberal Democratic Party, Tanigaki Sadakazu.
The National Assembly Chairman said Sadakazu's visit to Vietnam will contribute to further promoting the Vietnam-Japan strategic partnership in the time to come. Hùng said he is delighted at the recent developments in the relations between the two countries and two legislatures. He suggested that the two countries' legislative bodies work together more closely in supervising the implementation of agreements signed between the two governments. He added that the Vietnam-Japan Friendship Parliamentary Group and the Japan-Vietnam Friendship Parliamentary Alliance have operated effectively, and they can be considered a model for friendship cooperation between the two parliaments. Tanigaki Sadakazu said Vietnam is the first country he chose to visit after taking the presidency of the Liberal Democratic Party. He expressed thanks to the Vietnamese government and people for their support to Japan following the tsunami and earthquake disaster in March last year.
Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc is on a visit to Laos to attend the 34th sessions of the Vietnam-Laos Intergovernmental Committee on Economic Control, Education, Scientific and Technological Cooperation. He was received by the Lao Prime Minister in Vientiane on January 8th.
Deputy Prime Minister Phúc, who is also chairman of the Vietnam-Laos Cooperation Subcommittee, informed his host of the results of the Joint Committee's meeting. He affirmed that the two sides achieved good results in implementing the bilateral agreement on economic, cultural, education, scientific and technological cooperation last year. To date, Vietnam has invested $3.57 billion in 424 projects in Laos. Two-way trade turnover also increased to $700 million. This year, the two sides will work closely together to improve the efficiency of investment projects and exchange information and popularize the special Vietnam-Laos relationship on the occasion of the Vietnam-Laos Friendship Year 2012. Prime Minister Thongsin Thamavong expressed his wish that Vietnam and Laos will intensify cooperation in order to foster the two countries' relations.
The military-run telecoms group Viettel of Vietnam will carry out a project to assist agencies of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party in applying information technology.
A ceremony to launch the project was held on January the 8th in Vientiane. Viettel will work together with Unitel, a joint venture of Viettel and Laos Asia Telecom, in building an intranet linking the office of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party Central Committee with 5 other party agencies. The project also includes setting up a website of Lao People's Revolutionary Party and establishing an information gate, allowing officials to work and coordinate with each other through the intranet, as well as building a database to manage documents and data. The project costs a total of $3.5 million and is scheduled to complete in December 2013.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in cooperation with the Hanoi People's Committee, will co-host a spring program for overseas Vietnamese who come home for the Tết Festival.
The program Xuân Quê Hương will be held on January the 15th at the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum and Bading Square in Hanoi. Party and state leaders will meet with participants to wish them a happy new year. Artistic performances and traditional festival activities will also be held. The event has become a traditional activity when spring comes as a result of the policy of the Vietnamese Party and state to enhance the national solidarity bloc.
15 crew members were rescued after their fishing boat was struck by a foreign vessel about 300 kilometers east of Bạc Liêu province on January 8th morning.
According to the Vietnam Maritime Rescue Coordination Center, the fishing boat was on its way home to Binh Thuận province when it was hit by the Liberia flag main trunk and sank. The main trunk came back about an hour later and saved all the fishermen. The sailors were brought to Nha Trang at 8 p.m. the same day by a ship of the Vietnam Maritime Rescue Coordination Center.
The National Financial Supervisory Committee on January 9th held a workshop to discuss opportunities and challenges for the country's economy in 2012.
Experts said macroeconomic instability from the end of 2010 and the side effects of the tightened monetary and financial policies will continue to affect the country's economy in the first and second quarter of this year, but on a gradually decreasing level. The enterprises also forecast difficulties in the first months of 2012, and the real estate and stock markets will remain quiet in the first quarters of the year. However, the economy will improve in the latter half of 2012 as the macroeconomy regains stability. Inflation rate is expected to be under control and trade deficit will be curbed. Economic experts recommended that new policies are needed to change the economic structure, increase the efficiency of investment, and create a firmer foundation for sustainable growth in the context that Vietnam's economy is confronting more difficulties compared to 2011.
The country's first oil refinery in the central province of Quảng Nam plans to turn out and sell around 6 billion tons of products this year.
The refinery also targets 108 trillion Vietnamese dong in revenues in order to contribute over 15 trillion Vietnamese dong to the state budget. Following an overall maintenance in mid-September last year, the refinery has run at its full capacity. Last year, it produced almost 5.5 million tons of petroleum products and earned total revenues of almost 110 trillion Vietnamese dong. The refinery's developer, Petro Vietnam, and its foreign partners are studying a possibility to raise the refinery's yearly capacity to 10 million tons. They plan an additional investment of $1 billion for the capacity expansion scheme, which is expected to be completed in 2016.
Phao farmers in the central highland province of Lâm Đồng are busy tending their gardens as there's only half a month to go to the traditional New Year festival.
Both traders and farmers are expecting a bumper crop and good price this year because the weather has been kind to the flowers. The farmers in Thái Phiên village of Đà Lạt city planted about 50 hectares of flower this year. Their chrysanthemums, lilies and carnations are growing well and likely to bloom on time for Tết. Other flower villages in the province such as Hà Đông, Vạn Thành, Hiệp An are also getting ready for the market. If the weather is favorable, my family can earn an average 40 million Vietnamese dong for each 1,000 square meters under gladiolus. According to Hiệp An Commune People's Committee, about 172 hectares of land in the commune are planted with flowers, mainly gladiolus. The prices of flowers this year is higher than last year, bringing good income to local farmers. Local farmers are switching to flowers and vegetables as they fetch high profit than rice. Owners of orchid gardens in Đà Lạt are also confident that they can supply enough orchids, not only for the local market, but also to other provinces.
And that comes to the end of the news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.